Temperatures outside, Clay, right now are getting cooler, but right now not too bad. But it seems like later in the day there is a lot for people to expect as they go through the Sunday.
Yeah, that's right, Angela. It is a storm alert weather day as we're tracking that transition a little bit later this morning. In fact, we're already under winter storm warnings for much of the plateau into northwest Georgia. That's that pink shade. That's the highest impact zone. But here in the valley, we finally are now under those winter weather advisories for up to an inch, maybe even 2 inches of snow, with warnings also into our eastern areas. So let's kind of break this down. Again, this is a very dynamic system. As we kind of pull out just a bit, here's the low pressure. It is bringing snow from the Carolinas back into western Tennessee. That transition starting to occur, so that cold air is starting to work its way in. Now, we've had some very interesting reports throughout the morning, several inches across upstate South Carolina, even upwards of 7 inches in this little batch of snow in central Mississippi. Also, Memphis dealing with several inches of snow. So let's zoom into our area. Again, there's that heavy shield of snow into western North Carolina, mix into Fannin and Gilmer counties. It looks like Murphy primarily rain right now, but look at that pink showing up. That's signs that we're starting to see that transition. So snowflakes likely mixing into Sequatchie, Bledsoe counties. Again, this is going to be a gradual transition, but here in the valley, it's still rain. But again, as we go through latter half of the morning, it's going to start to transition to snow for much of the plateau, and then later this afternoon for portions of the valley. So here's a look at your 24-hour reports of snowfall. Again, look at that. Upstate South Carolina. Now, I got reports from my dad. He lives in Spartanburg. Already 4 inches on the ground. So pretty impressive snowfall totals into the Carolinas, northeast Georgia, and now back into Tennessee. Even that little blip down in Jackson, upwards of 6 inches. So again, there's definitely going to be the potential for some snow. Where's that heavy band going to set up? That's going to be the question. But again, temperatures still above freezing, into the 40s here into Chattanooga, 35 in Altamont. So again, that's where that transition is going to start to take place. So let's track this out for you. Okay, rain through the morning for the valley, but here's that snow starting to show up in those higher elevations and back into the Carolinas. And going into the afternoon, let's say lunchtime, we could start to have some flakes mixing into portions of the valley, northeast Georgia and northwest Alabama and northwest Georgia. And then going into, let's say 1-2 o'clock, we start to see that transition across a much wider portion of the valley. But notice still some rain trying to linger in those valley floors. But by about 3-4 o'clock, we start to see that full transition and the moisture starts to exit with lingering snow showers throughout the evening. So again, as for accumulations, we're still thinking anywhere from a dusting upwards of 2 inches. Now, there is a scenario where that heavy band sets up somewhere in the valley, and we could have more than that. But right now, we're going with a little more conservative totals of a dusting upwards of 1 inch or 2. But along the plateau, 4 to 8 inches into Grundy County, Sequatchie, Bledsoe, Van Buren, Monteagle, 3 to 6 inches, a pretty nice swath of snow into northeast Alabama, and a couple of inches possible from Ellijay up into Murphy. So that's our latest thinking. But again, this is going to be impactful, especially along the plateau. Travel going to be difficult at times. Great day to stay indoors. You don't want to be out on the roadways. They're wet and it's just kind of nasty out there. But again, still some uncertainties. How long does that transition happen? If it happens earlier in the valley, of course, we could have higher totals. Later, less totals. How are the surface temperatures going to affect the snow? Because we're going to be a little above freezing here in the valley, which may cut down on those snow totals as well. And where's that heavy band going to set up? Likely somewhere across Tennessee, likely along the plateau. So again, that's kind of what we're working with. Also, high wind warnings in effect, gust upwards 40 to 50 miles per hour across portions of North Georgia, gusting upwards of 30 here across the valley. So again, this is going to be a very impactful system as we move forward. And that's why we're going with the storm alert weather day, then lingering flurries possible Monday, warming up, rain arise Wednesday, but look at Friday, 34, maybe another round of snow showers. So definitely a very active week, feeling like winter here across the Tennessee Valley.
Yeah, it's definitely been a very cold January, Clay, but definitely a lot to be cautious about, like you said, especially on the roads today. If you do not have to go out at all, just stay inside, enjoy some movies and some time with your friends and family. Well, hey,